So far I haven't told you who I am, and that's by design. I'm not here to try to change the world. I'm just trying to express my ideas, and hopefully they make sense to somebody else as well. And if not, then that's fine. I'm not looking for clout or attention. It really doesn't matter who I am anyway, so just the ideas that matter. So if you get upset over anything that I'm going to say right now or later on or in the past videos, that's fine. You can get upset. Just don't get upset at me because I'm not the target. The target is your unchecked ego, because that was my target when I came to these conclusions. So get upset about the reason why you're getting upset, not of the person who's telling you the truth or an honest intent of the truth. And on that note, I'm going to talk about something that I just found out earlier, a couple of months ago, which is the origin of the word truth, which is why I prefer the word honesty instead. The word truth comes from a religious intent of being unquestionable, of not being able to basically think otherwise, right? So truth becomes obsolete when new evidence comes to be. Like it happens with science at all times, right? You discover something new, and then perceptions turn into new ideas and new concepts and new ways of doing things, more efficient ways of doing things. So this is kind of the same. Again, my intent is not to change your mind. I really don't care what you believe in. The goal is to try to see if there's another way that we can be doing things. Because I am a firm believer that it's not about teams, religions, colors, flags. I am a strong believer that all of that is a deterrent for our progress as a human species, because we keep on fighting and focusing on dumb things just because we want our team to win. And we leave behind the idea of, or the intent to actually make things better for everybody, not just for unchecked egos in any kind of spectrum in the elite levels. I'm not sure if that makes sense. It's kind of like a conceptualized elites or social statuses by money, which is what we normally do, but I categorize them by unchecked ego. So I'm going to be repetitive because it's the nature of these ideas, but I'm going to try to make sense of them all. So again, it's not about the money you have or the status you have or the reputation you have. That's beyond any logic or above any kind of comprehension of what we think is normal. We believe that rich people are evil, but I don't believe that's the case. I do believe that a lot of them are fucking evil, but there are a lot of evil people where no money actually exists, like where I live right now. It's a place where there's money, because people tend to think that hard work is what will bring them peace. So they do make money, but their houses, man, they're not painted. They are sometimes disheveled. Sometimes they need fixing, but they rather use that money for nails and hairdos and expensive cars and all that shit, which again will never bring you joy. Let me rephrase that. It will bring you joy maybe temporarily, but it's not a way to happiness. Joy is an emotion that can diminish at any time. Happiness is a state of mind, because happiness doesn't care if you're sad or not. You understand that sadness is part of it, that pain is the kind of teacher that will help you grant yourself empathy in others, that will allow you to treat others with respect and sincerity. And I'm not sure if that's the case, but most religious people that I know suck. And they go to church every day and they do the cross on their bodies, the cross signal with their hands on their bodies, and they go to church and And they only criticize people. They only go and let somebody else read them their book, their magical book that they claim is their whole reason for existence and behavior. But I mean, and they make it a team kind of effort, right? They believe that their team is the only one that has the whole truth, which again is kind of fitting, because that's what truth is. It's not questioning whatever the fuck you say, because that's what you say, that's what your God says about a certain topic. And even people here at the same place where there's a whole diversity of economic purpose and status. Even here in poverty, there are people who think that, and they believe that they deserve much more than others. And they behave the same exact way as rich people do. They're greedy, they're crabs in a bucket. They believe that their religion or their political party or their whatever team they wish to subscribe to is who has the truth. And that allows them to be dicks to people who they don't even know, because they don't know people from other religions. They don't dare to get to know them because it's not their team, so fuck them. So they get to act in however the fuck they want with them, because they are less than them, because they don't hold the truth like they do. But the other team is exactly the same mentality, so it ends up being the same kind of thing. We fight over stupid things. We keep ourselves entertained by dividing ourselves just because they said that was the way to go. And fuck, man, we lose our humanity there, because we rather have the truth even if we don't, just because our team says that we do. So that gives us permission to be assholes. And again, it's the exact same thing regardless of if you have money or not. That doesn't matter, as long as they can keep on dividing you that way with teams and stupid ideologies of division. Then they win, because they keep us distracted from their unjust laws and their greed and their selfishness and their need to get more, even though they already have every single fucking thing. They still want more. That's why we shouldn't trust billionaires, because again, as I said before, they didn't get their money by being good people. I promise you that. They actually got their money by exploiting people and lying and cheating. And the idea that doing business is expecting the other guy to screw you over, so you have to be the first one to screw them over first, or harder. That mediocre mentality is the one that's been dragging us along and preventing us from actually being in a better world. It's that simple. We even sometimes throw our existences, our experiences to shit, because we think that's success, and if we don't have money, then we're not successful. We're not worth a single thing. When the only thing that gives value to your person is your experience, what you do with it. Nothing else matters, really. Just ask the religious people who think they are right in again, working their whole lives without exploring their own wants and needs and love. They just think that their parents were right in doing the same thing, so they have to do the same thing. Doesn't matter if they wanted to be doctors or physicians, or are they the same thing? Or lawyers or whatever. They don't get to experience something. They need to do what their parents tell them to do, because that's the right thing to do. Otherwise, you're not honoring them. And what ends up happening is that they waste that experience. And what's the natural consequence of that? Frustration, anger, regret. And that's how most people live here. Poor or rich, money or no money. That's what they believe, and that's how they live, and come to be 50 and 60, 70 years old, and they repent, and then they try to give advice to younger people. But what good is it for them to be without advice when they're 80 or 80 years old? They're not going to do anything with it. Young people aren't going to listen to them, because who are you to tell me how to live if you wasted your life? I'm not trying to be condescending, it's just what I've noticed here in my town, which I'm sure is the same condition in a lot of towns. Because what I've noticed is very important. People who don't use their lives to experience what they want to experience, who base themselves on what they will say or others' expectations of them, regardless if it's a boss or a religious leader, a politician, their own parents, their own families, with their pressures, social and familiar pressures, and they just throw themselves at that. It doesn't matter that they are dying inside every day. What matters is to be good enough for somebody else or for other people. And that's precisely the danger of religion. They give you rules that don't apply to your nature, to your wants, to your love, to how you conceptualize your own experience. They give you rules that people who didn't even know where the sun went at night, or why see the sea rised and lowered every afternoon. They didn't understand the moon, and yet they were smart enough. They were smart enough to take a concept like religion, which was invented surely to get strong people in line because they took over everything with their unchecked egos. Now it's not strength, now it's money. It's the exact same thing. So they invented religion to take care of those people so that we can learn to cooperate and live life and experience things and be able to defend ourselves against things that we can't control, like super volcanoes or comets or whatever, solar flares. And yet they would try to explain that to children with fairy tales and magic and all that, and adults went and took that concept and turned it into a twisted way to control people. Because again, it's not about the fairy tales or magic or even the prophets. It's, again, keep it simple. It's about us learning to cooperate so we can move forward. And adults use that again for selfish reasons and control reasons and power reasons. So then politicians took that and adapted it into law, into actually being able to control people with punishments. And now billionaires are doing the same exact thing to further their agendas, so to keep on exploiting people and keep on being dicks, even though they have all the money in the world to be able to change things. They don't. So how good can they be? Good people will do something about it. A good person will do something to enhance the life of others, not to keep on hoarding. We keep calling hoarding success, but only when it comes to money. When you hoard pee or poo or newspapers, then you're sick in the mind. But the ones that hoard paper, the ones that give value to everything just to be able to hoard more, those are not sick, right? Those are successful people. And that's why people who are in the poverty spectrum believe that that's success, so they get to act like those other assholes, clinging to things they can't control and gatekeeping and stepping up the ladder and pulling it up so that nobody else can come up it. So that's the reason that we are doomed. Not because we're not capable with our big brains to do things better, but because we keep on thinking that our big brains are not capable of anything better than that. And to think that mediocrity is success. And to think that cruelty is accepted as long as you have enough money or fame. And this isn't about any kind of morality either. I really don't care what you believe in, what God you choose to believe in. Again, I'm not a religious person in that way. I don't believe in a God. I don't believe in religious dogma or rules. I'm just trying to let you know that there are ways for you to actually believe in that and still become a good person in the end, and still enjoy your life and still be joyful to others and helpful to others, because it's about community. Even ants understand that. So what are we doing? We consider ourselves better than them, but they are able to cooperate better than we can. They're able to not rely on ants that have everything and want more to guide them through the process. They just do the thing that needs to be done so that the whole colony can progress and move forward. And yet we are the ones who claim to be the ones with the biggest brains and the most civilized, and we can't figure that out. I don't know, man. It's kind of sad that we keep on letting mediocrity dictate what success is and what can be considered a good life. And they make it hard for us to be able to realize that through their division and their there are laws that are only applicable if you are not able to buy them or to buy yourself out of them. And look what's happening right now. A lot of people who have a lot of money have been doing horrible things to kids. Well, I'm not going to say kids. I'm not sure, because I believe there's a 9-year-old and 10 years old and 12-year-old kids there mentioned, but I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it. But if it is kids or if it's young people, it's the same thing. You're damaging their experience. You're giving an impression of what the world is that is totally false, because it's not the world. It's your decisions as the people who have all the money. It's you who make the mistakes, and it's you who affect other people's experiences. And you don't only do that through exploitations. You do that through laws that don't allow businesses to pay us what they need to pay us so that we can live fairly. You keep on you keep on moving the goalposts with adding value to things that should not be more expensive every year. It's ridiculous that we keep on depending on a system that heightens the value of things each and every fucking year. For what? What are we trying to do here? The only ones who get benefits from that is not the farmers, it's not the people who work and make the companies work, or the people who are actually in charge of keeping us fed and protected. It's not about that. It's about them hoarding more, about their value going up, about their interest rates being higher, about their taxes being lower so that they can accumulate more. And again, they're just hoarders. They are sick people, and I understand that we need to help them. We don't need to eat them. We need to murder them. That's we don't need to. It's ridiculous to think that a human life is not worth living just because it made mistakes, and I understand that. But although some of them do need to rot in jail because of their stupid fucking behaviors and sick behaviors, I understand that. But there are some of them that, even though they come from dirty money, which is almost all of them, I'm dare to say 99% of them, because they got it through exploitation and cheating and lying to people and exploiting resources and ecosystems. That's how they got their money. If it wasn't them, it was their grandparents, or it was their grandparents, or whoever the fuck started to accumulate by doing the things that they needed to do, regardless of who they hurt. And again, it's not only an issue about status, because they all come from the same place. They come from poverty, and they make their money in horrendous ways, and they act in horrendous ways when they do get the money. So it's just about letting them know that we're not dumb anymore. We have the internet, which is the best gift that we could actually have gotten, which has actually made us realize that we're closer to being cooperative than to be divided like they used to do it with us before. And again, there's going to be fight of people who still want the status quo to go through like it has been throughout all these years, because it's convenient for them, because they don't have to work to actually earn a living, and they don't have to do anything to experience. They just squander and buy people and buy intentions and think they can get away with anything. But I hope we can let that idea of religious forgiveness be an eternal thing and an intermittent thing, and actually hold them accountable for their actions, because you can see it in children. If you hold them accountable for what they do, they become better people. If you let them experience life and get hurt and get hurt, I don't mean in the pedophilic way. I mean in the life kind of way, hearts broken, trusts broken, all that's important for them to understand, that they need to be empathetic and they need to be good people. And if you shield them from that kind of experience, and if you give them everything, and if you allow them to go get away with things that seem simple but are not, then you're creating monsters. You're creating presidents and politicians and religious leaders and billionaires who don't give a fuck about everybody else, just because they've always gotten away with everything, just because they can buy affection, they can buy love, they can buy laws, they can buy favors and intentions. So I hope we can go from now on, out of all these files coming out, I hope we can take that away from this. We need to make them accountable. We need to make them see what they've done. We need to help them realize that they've done wrong. And we need to let the ones that did horrible things rot in jail, but they still need help. So they, at least in jail, they can actually enjoy some kind of resemblance of life. But we do need to actually go forward and make them accountable, because otherwise we're just going to make them smarter about how they can screw us over and keep on dividing us so that we can keep on being distracted. And yeah, that's all I got for right now. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you were able to listen so far, thank you. Thank you for your time, and I do hope you have a great day. See you on the next one.